Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Political Vigilante. My name is Graham Elwood. Thank you so much for supporting the show. January 30th, I'm doing Political Vigilante live in Los Angeles. Jimmy Dore is my guest. Go to grahamelwood.com for tickets. You don't want to miss the live Political Vigilantes. They're great. We do Q&As with the audience. We do the Political Vigilante game show, Sharia law, state law. It's a lot of fun. So come out and Jimmy will be my guest. We'll talk about the issues of the day. It'll be a lot of fun. And of course, Progressive Comedy Tour and all my other tour dates are at grahamelwood.com. So I saw this in USA Today. School superintendent faces fraud charges for allegedly using own insurance to help ill student. This was in USA Today. Now, it's one of these classic USA Today articles. It's about 300 words or something like that, and these are the facts. It doesn't ever go it should say, what kind of a world are we living in where this has to happen? So not only why doesn't the kid have insurance? So the kid doesn't have insurance, the superintendent has to help, and then she's arrested? This is the corporate state. This is when the ruling class, you know, when school boards are and governments are paid off by the healthcare lobby, this is what we get. She shouldn't be put in this position, the superintendent. Here's what happened. Casey Smitherman, a superintendent of Elwood Community School Boards in Elwood, Indiana, I've driven through there, was booked on charges of insurance fraud, identity deception, and official misconduct on Wednesday. Insurance fraud, identity deception, and misconduct. Insurance fraud. Insurance fraud is when, somebody breaks into your home and all they do is steal a couple $100 in jewelry, and you say, oh, they stole 20 grand worth of stuff. That's insurance fraud. That's a lie and a scam. Giving a kid health care, that's not insurance fraud. In this dumb country, it is. She's been released on bail. Smitherman says the charges come after she recently went to the home of a student who had missed school and saw he had symptoms of strep throat, which can get really bad if not treated. A very treatable thing, strep throat. Any clinic, very treatable. But like anything, it can get worse. If you don't take care of a common cold or a sore throat, it can get a lot worse. What are we, a third world country? After the student was refused treatment at a clinic, refused treatment, she took him to another one, this time saying he was her son. He couldn't get treatment because he didn't have insurance, the first one. So then she says, fuck it, I'm going to say the kid's my kid and get him. She's being punished for that. Strep throat. So what does this tell educators? It says don't get involved with the kids. I mean, it's a big thing. You don't get too involved and stuff like that. I understand there should be boundaries. She shouldn't be put in this position. So the LA teacher strike just ended, thankfully. And one of the things they were striking was there were only nurses coming to public schools in LA 1 day a week. Guess what? Kids get sick every day of the week. I hate to break it to you. There should be a school nurse that takes care of this kid. He should have free health care. Richest country in the history of the world. How are we going to pay for it? Anybody ask how we're going to pay for the F-35, the $1.5 trillion boondoggle of a military expenditure? Anybody ask for that? Anybody ask how we're going to pay for those rockets that give Brian Williams boners when he watches Syria get blown to smithereens and civilians die? Anybody ask that? No? Oh. How are we going to pay for it? Asking how are we going to pay for health care, which is a human right, is like, how are we going to pay for clean water? How are we going to pay for clean water, man? How are we going to pay for it? Smitherman told police that she was concerned about the student when he was not at school earlier this month and that she had previously helped him by buying clothes for him and helping to clean his home. A claim for a medical visit where the boy was diagnosed with a sore throat was valued at $233. The station reports, citing medical records. Look at this statistic that came out too in USA Today. More than 25% of the children in this Elwood school district live below the poverty line. 25% of the kids under the age of 18 live below the poverty line, which is why they can't afford, where is it? $233. A $233 medical visit for strep throat. Doctor looks at you, takes a throat culture, it's strep throat, here's some antibiotics, $233. The kid doesn't have that because his family lives below the poverty line. 60% of Americans don't have $1,000 in savings, and she's going to jail? Here's my favorite part of the corporate media, just reporting the story. There's no one line in there in this story, and you say to him, what the, how ridiculous is it that this, and maybe the person that wrote it, I say this all the time, the journalist was told, take that line out of there, whatever. We just report the news. We just give the scores. You know, did they do that in football? Right? The Rams beat the Saints. I know that. I didn't really watch the game, but I know that there was this completely egregious penalty that was committed by the Rams down the stretch, that the ref, this guy slammed into a receiver. That's all anyone's talking about at the news. That wasn't fair. The ref blew the call. And then all of this discussion and debate, if the ref would have made the right call, would the Saints have won? Saints fans feel robbed. All this discussion. It's just football. It's just sports. Who cares? But we give more discussion and debate to a goddamn football game than why a kid doesn't have health care. This whole article should be littered with why is this not happening? And give me more, here's a crazy idea, be a journalist, give me more statistics. The county has this much money, the state has this much money, the federal government, why aren't we spending this? The county of, the school district spends this much money on this. We have a prison nearby. There's got to be, if it's America, there's a private prison. I guarantee you somewhere near Elwood, Indiana, there's a prison somewhere. They spend this much on prisoners. So why the article should be littered with those facts. If we're going to spend this much on prisoners, why don't we have $233 so a kid can get antibiotics for strep throat? How is the superintendent depicted in the mainstream media? Here's her photo. A photo of her helping the kid, a photo of her at work. Oh no, her mugshot. Look at this. Does anyone look good in a mugshot? The only time you use photos like this, if she hit somebody, she was molesting a kid, she slept with this 15-year-old, then you put this up there to show that she's a criminal. Look at this. Oh, what is she, helping her students? Look at this. They should put a halo around her head. She's risking criminal charges because she wanted to help a kid get help. Strep throat can really exacerbate and get worse. There's nothing like that in the article. Is there anything in the article saying what happens if strep throat isn't treated? Nope. All it says was she went in there, she got a prescription using her son's name for an antibiotic that the kid needed. What are we living? What world are we living in, man? This woman is viewed as a criminal. Look at her. Oh, guilty. I guarantee you, everybody looks uncomfortable and not attractive when they've been arrested. Nobody looks nice or happy or a good person. If this is my first view of this woman, don't know her, never met her, don't know anything about Elwood, Indiana's school district. My first view of her, courtesy of USA Today, is guilty. Boy, look at her trying to make sure a kid doesn't get pneumonia and die. Unreal, man. Thanks for supporting the show, you guys. Go to grahamelwood.com for all my tour dates. Headlining in Chicago in February. Progressive Comedy Tour is coming to the Gulf States. We're going to Lafayette, Louisiana. We're going to Oxford, Mississippi. I've never been to that state before. New Orleans, the Big Easy, baby, and Pensacola. Go to grahamelwood.com. And, of course, support the show on the Patreon. Let the ads play all the way through at the beginning, because that's how I get paid. Thanks for watching.